Northern Nigeria is on the verge of an implosion. Until we tell ourselves the truth, nothing is going to stop that from happening. We, the Northerners, have a lot to learn from the Yorubas. We have a lot to learn from the Yorubas. How have the Yorubas been able to harness and manage their differences in terms of religion? How have they been able to manage that to an extent that it has not become a disaster to them? We need to learn that. So I am telling you this as a typical Northerner.
Hello and what's up, guys? In this video we are diving into a shocking warning from a concerned Northern man. Words that many don't want to hear. He's speaking out about the hard truth that the North is on the verge of collapse, and unless we wake up and face reality, nothing will stop it. And here is the most important part. He is not blaming outsiders. He says the North must learn from the Yorubas before it is too late. Let's get straight into it. According to him, the North has been fed with lies for too long, while the region is struggling with poverty, insecurity, and radical ideologies. The Yorubas have managed to live in peace despite their religious differences. How? Because they focus on progress, not division. This Northern man is asking a tough question. Why is Lagos thriving while the North is sinking? Lagos alone can feed the North with its GDP. Yet, some religious leaders keep deceiving people, preaching extremism, while their own families live comfortably. And here is what he wants every Northerner to ask. If a cleric says dying for religion guarantees paradise, ask him, why hasn't he gone first? If they preach having too many children has a reward, ask them how many of their own kids are begging on the street. He makes it clear the North does not own Nigeria. This is just an illusion. Power isn't in numbers, it is in resources. And when you compare GDPs, the Yorubas and Igbos are far ahead. He warns that if the North doesn't stop chasing religious radicalism and start chasing real development, it will collapse completely. Guys, these are not just random opinions. This is a wake-up call from a Northern man who is deeply concerned about the future. I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what he is saying. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look, guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
Northern Nigeria is on the verge of an implosion. Until we tell ourselves the truth, nothing is going to stop that from happening. We, the Northerners, have a lot to learn from the Yorubas. We have a lot to learn from the Yorubas. How have the Yorubas been able to harness and manage their differences in terms of religion? How have they been able to manage that to an extent that it has not become a disaster to them? We need to learn that. So I am telling you this as a typical Northerner, that at any point in time you see a cleric scholar, a religious cleric scholar, telling you that you need to be so radical, you need to cause havoc on other people with the hope of getting a reward in heaven, ask him the basic question: what is stopping him from going to heaven to get the results? What is stopping him from going to heaven to get the 72 virgins? And when he tells you that there is sunnah in having so much children, ask him the basic question: how many children does he have? How many children does he have that are on the streets, that are begging? Ask him those basic questions, and you will get to see that at the end of the day, you are nothing but a tool in the hands of the politicians and in the hands of the fanatics. That is just what you are. Until you realize that, you're going to remain that. And I want to disabuse the Northerner minds in regards to this concept that makes them feel or think that we own Nigeria. We are the power of Nigeria. To me, that is a delusion of the highest order. The dynamics have changed But since it's something that has been implanted in your mind, you still think it's still the same. But it's not. I am telling you. Let's ask yourself the question, what is your GDP? What is the GDP of the North in comparison to that of the Yoruba land, in comparison to that of the East? And the last time I checked, there is no comparison. Lagos is operating as a country on its own. And Lagos can feed all, if not to some certain extent, almost the whole of the North with its GDP. And when you feel you want to fight and attack and win victory on a particular region, what do you use? It's not the game of numbers. It's the game of resources. And it's evidently clear now that they have their resources more than you. So why are you still living with that delusion that you control Nigeria and you control the power? It's not. It's only when it comes to shady politicking, fanatic religious ideologies, that is where numbers count. But when it comes to progress and development, numbers don't count. Numbers doesn't count. It's evident. Don't pursue numbers. Don't pursue radical religious ideologies. Pursue development. Pursue quality of life. Stop marrying so many people and giving birth to so many children that you can't account for, that cannot compete with the global trend. That is just it. Until you learn that, you will live with that delusion, and I'm telling you wholeheartedly that that delusion is highly unrealistic and is not the reality of the day. Till you realize that, you will never come true. As a matter of fact.
Yo, top of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. This message is actually going directly to my brothers in northern Nigeria. Yo, listen. I am still trying to calculate how you cannot fend for one wife. You are trying to marry another. The reason why I'm saying this is, in Abuja, you would see somebody cutting nails or doing, a shoemaker or selling sugar cane. And then he will tell you, I have 2 wives. I'm even planning to add the 3rd one. And then you'll be wondering, how is this possible? You understand? That's why the number of, out of school children or children begging on the street is actually outrageous. Because these are parents that will just, give birth to children that they cannot even account for, and then they throw them out on the streets to become hawkers. You are going to see little girls in northern Nigeria, 6, 7, 8 years, selling things on the road. Some of these girls usually get defiled by people. Some of these girls are in danger. Some of these girls don't actually sell what they've been asked to sell, but they're selling their body because of the exposure that they're having. It's not fair. Northern Nigeria, we have to talk to ourselves. So, it's not all about marrying. You marry 1 wife, 4 children. Marry 2nd wife, 4 children. Marry 3rd wife, 4 children. You have 12 children. And sometimes this guy is more like they are proud. Yeah, I have 12 children that you cannot cater for. Oh, man, we need to really, really do something about this thing, because it's actually getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. Yo, listen, going to see these people always saying, yeah, God said we should marry more than 4 wives or more than 1 wife, and this is it. The modalities to marry more than 1 wife is, Allah said, if you can be just to more than 1, then marry more than 1. If you know that if you buy wife 1 G-Wagon, you're going to buy wife 2 G-Wagon, you're going to buy wife 3 G-Wagon. You know that if you sleep in wife 1's house for two days, you're going to sleep in wife 2's house for 2 days, and so on and so forth. Now, and you have to love them equally. I am telling you that there are some people that will tell you, yo, among all my wives, is my first wife that I love the most. That's why I did this to her. Which means you are unjust, and you're not even supposed to marry more than 1 wife. You are unjust. So we have to be very, very, very careful with the way this thing is going, because, you go out on the streets and see children begging. Like children in numbers, they are begging. You would ask one, you see a 6-7-year-old child, he doesn't even know. You ask him where's his parents, he doesn't even know, but he's in Abuja, his parents are in Sokoto, or his parents are in Kano. Like how do we even, how you as a parent, see, if I'm going to be made president of Nigeria, I'm going to carry all these children on the street, and then you must show me your parents. If you show me your parents, the way I'm oh my God, that any parents that, like, I'm going to hold liable for giving birth to a child and throwing the child on the streets without even knowing where the child is, but you are going to face a jail term. You face a jail term. That's insensitive. Well, waiting we know if we talk plenty now, they will say we talk. But Northern Nigeria, this is a wake-up call.
Do you know that normal, if Burna Boy, Davido, Wizkid are to come from Kano, Hisba suppose they find them. Hisba suppose they find them to flog or to even jail them. But the last time I checked, these are people that brings millions or if not billions of naira into Nigerian economy. But the fact is, whatever they are doing doesn't negate the constitution. So that is why I'm trying to say that till we get to a point in time in this country where the fundamental rights of human beings in that country is considered superior and ultimate above religious and cultural beliefs, we're not going anywhere. That is just it. A quick example. Let's look at it. At the moment, in practicality, it seems very impossible or very hard for anybody now to say he wants to go to Sokoto, Katsina, Zamfara, to say he wants to have a piggery. Why? Because these practices religiously, they are considered to be something that is an abomination. But if you look at the likes of countries like China, this is one of the things that contributes like millions or billions of naira to their GDP. But in Nigeria now, a kind of a certain set of religious and cultural belief have criminalized that. And you can't do that. And the fact is, if I must tell you the truth, we are one Nigeria only on paper. But in practicality, we are not one Nigeria. Because the one Nigeria I know should be all-encompassing. It should tolerate all the actions or all the whatever of an individual as long as it doesn't negate the basic founding principles. That is just it. Freedom of whatever you want to do as long as it's enshrined and legitimately in the constitution. But the reverse is the case in Nigeria. And where do you see this? You see this more in the north. Prove me wrong when I say that statistically a lot of unaliving, a lot of radicality is associated majorly with the north. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Radicality and a lot of things that are religiously inclined happens in the north. But the fact is, we all don't get to see all these traces of fanaticism before they are fully blown, and that is why we're taking off guard. But I want to bring to your notice some elements of this fanaticism before it becomes full-blown, before everybody starts complaining of, which is the fact that at any point in time that you see somebody judging somebody by virtue of what he eats, he criminalizes him by virtue of what he eats that doesn't affect him. That is fanaticism. And at any point in time, be it Christian or Muslim, that you have that conviction or you have that belief that anybody that is not a Christian or a Muslim is not making heaven, you are a fanatic. And in going forward, we need to get rid of some terminologies that are biased, like Arne. In the north now, when you say Arne, the Christians are considered Arne. And Arne is idol worshippers or people that don't believe in God. We have to get rid of Aboki. We have to get rid of Inyamuri, as long as you are saying those things with bad intention. These are the things that divide our country. These are the basic things that divide our country. And let's look at it. Normal, all things being equal. If Burna Boy, Wizkid, Davido are to come from a particular region in the north now, those people, his bar are supposed to be looking for them, to tie them and flog them or even imprison them. And these are people that contribute heavily to Nigeria's GDP. These are people that are even bringing global recognition to Nigeria. But they can be criminalized now because they don't stand for a kind of a religious or a cultural belief. You see how I keep saying that the North is taking other people back? These are the reasons I'm saying. And these reasons are tangible and factual. But the fact is, the government to some certain extent, I blame them because they are not responsive in regards to this. Because I don't see any reason why people will be complaining of. One of the major problems we have in that country is the fact that the herders and the farmers clashes. And what is the solution to this? Ban open grazing. Developed countries have banned open grazing. Why is it hard to ban? Because in so doing, it's going to affect your vote. It's going to affect your vote, and everybody will want to turn deaf ears. And as far as some of these politicians are concerned, my brother, personal interest supersede national interest. That is their modus operandi. Personal interest supersedes national interest, and that is the way they operate. And I also want to bring to your notice that, I see in my comments regards the videos I make, that a lot of these Hausas do it in Hausa version. Let me tell you, and let me give you an example. Ina jin Hausa sosai ba abunda zaka iya gaya min a Hausa da bana ji. But the fact is, what I mean is, I hear Hausa well, and I can express myself fluently in Hausa, and I'm a true Nigerian. There's nothing you will tell me that I don't understand in Hausa or I can't express myself. But that is not the point. A lot of people have even said I'm a South African, I'm a missionary, hired to come and cause division or to come and scatter. But that is not the case. The fact is, the fanatics we're talking about here are on this platform, and they comprehend English very well.